Welcome to this video from Unique Auto Developments. Today we're in a W205 Mercedes C-Class, a 2017 car. We're going to install our CarPlay kit. So I'm just going to run you through the basic installation process. It should take about an hour. And that's doing everything very carefully and taking your time. So I'll just get started. So first of all, we take a T20 Torx bit on a screwdriver. Now, there's a piece of trim that comes off here, which is the release for the armrests. See, it's there. So this piece of trim, we removed it for convenience, but you just pull it up at each side and then use a trim tool to gradually lever it from the centre, but it goes directly up, not to the side. So make sure you disengage it going directly up. And then under that, you've got two T20 Torx screws. So I'm going to go ahead and remove these. Keep them somewhere safe. So that's those removed. Now removing this centre console piece, it looks complex, but actually it's quite simple. The main thing is there's a few wiring connectors below here. I recommend disengaging them carefully. Another thing I recommend doing is putting a cloth such as this around the side of the panels when you do remove it, because there's quite sharp clips on the back and you obviously don't want to damage your dash or the trim or the screen. So yeah, it's worth just working carefully. So all we do for this, keep this armrest open just for convenience. And you see, just pull up like that. So just pull straight up, and it's very easy to loosen it. There's obviously just a couple of clips to disengage, one at the top as well. You just kind of lift that up and then it comes free. So this is free now. And now we just go ahead and disconnect these connections. So if you come down here, this is where we start. We've got this each have small clips that need to be disengaged. This one has like a sideways locking connector. It goes across like that, so you just disengage that. Again, you shouldn't need any tools. See, that has to be disengaged and that comes out. There's another one here, exactly the same. These are all one directional connectors, so you can't fit them wrongly when you do refit the console. It's just something worth knowing. Need a bit of assistance there just to get in there. Grab that one. So the next step here is your NTG unit, which is the brain that powers the Mercedes infotainment system. And this is where we're going to plug our CarPlay into the back of this. First of all, we need to remove it. It's fairly straightforward. Again, there's two T20 Torx screws that hold this in. And it's quite a simple arrangement in this specific Mercedes, because you just take these screws out. You don't even have to actually remove them fully. But I'm doing that for the purposes of this video, so you can see exactly what we're dealing with. So these two clips that these screws hold on actually retain the whole system. So if you push these forward a little bit, this now is free to come out. NTG unit. This is an NTG 5.2, but this the CarPlay device we sell will actually work with anything from NTG 5 onwards. So if you have a look at the connections at the back here, we've got the main quad lock connector. So the two we're concerned with is this main quad lock connector and this, which is a display cable, otherwise known as an LVDS cable. So what we're going to basically do is remove these two, and then we've got wires that fit in line and fit our box. So we're removing this quad lock connector and this LVDS connector here. Let's deal with the quad lock first. So you've got a little tab here which you press down, use your thumb, and you just pull and you'll feel that clip, and then there we go. So that's the quad lock out. The next one is this blue. Again, remember the small blue one, as it's tabbed with little text above it saying obviously display. So there's a tab on there and that pulls out. So those two are removed. We're going to make the connections at the radio end first. So this is the original factory plug. This is our CarPlay plug. It goes together exactly as it did with the radio itself. So clip that in, and then we take this one, which plugs into the back of the radio. Again, refitting is the reverse of the removal we just did. So make sure that's fully engaged. Okay, so the next thing to deal with is we have the LVDS wiring. So we're going to make the connections to the box. First of all, we're going to deal with this LVDS1 connector. So this simply goes into here, this end, clips in, DS connector, and that just goes in here. It's a little, and then so this one just goes in to where that came from in the stereo, the original blue one. It's a slightly turquoisey colour, but there you go, it just clips in, doesn't it? So this is the USB end where you will plug your Apple Lightning cable into the CarPlay box itself. Now you have to use a connector that comes directly off the box. Luckily in these cars it's quite easy to route this. I prefer the central console, but you could also route it with a glove box fairly easily, but I'm just going to do a very quick routing down and out of the center console. So you pull that up, just run your cable through there, and it's very easy to get out. There it is, so ready for your Lightning cable. And then the other end is just plugged into the USB section of the box. So the next one, and the most important one, is power. So this plugs in, just like that. You feel it click and engage. And then there's another small connector which goes next to it. This is the other way around, so that this clicks and engages. So really, here are our main connections to the CarPlay box. Now on this car you do have quite a bit of space in the dashboard, so you can get this box right in there quite easily. Before I do that, there's just one last thing to note. So on these cars, on the main power loom, you've got this 3.5mm connector. Now this is to carry the sound over auxiliary to your CarPlay. So this section, you plug in this blue wire. We'll supply a different one, but this is just a demonstration wire. So again, and I'll feed this out just out of the center console here, like I did with the USB. This one might be, yeah, it's very easy to get through. It's down there, and I'll route that down the center console in a minute, but again, just showing you how to get it out from behind the stereo. So my final move is to put this, tuck this as far back into the dash as I can get it to go, and there's luckily a big chunk of space behind there. We've got space for all our wiring. Again, make sure none of these front panel connectors are crimped or crushed when you put it back in. And yeah, our wiring is ready to go back in. We've still got our connectors exposed, so the next step is just to install all our connectors to the center console trim panel, get that all back down, screw that in, put that trim back on, and you should have two cables obviously down here for the time being, but you can route them to a location of your preference. You've got one for your Lightning cable, which I'll plug in now. Find the right way. And then this one, we'll run this one across. Just a matter of note, in the glove box here, this is the car's original USB cables. What's included in the box is this converter, which goes in and allows you to connect a 3.5mm to the car's USB to get your audio source. So we'll plug that in for the time being, and show you when this console is all back together.